Huge news broke in the world of Supercross on June 29th, when the FIM, the co-sanctioning body of Monster Energy AMA Supercross and FIM World Championship, announced that Feld Entertainment, the promoters of the series, had not renewed their agreement for Supercross to be sanctioned by the FIM going forward. That means that Supercross will return to being sanctioned only by the American Motorcyclist Association. Since December of 2002, Supercross has been sanctioned by the AMA and the FIM jointly. It is once again a domestic series, produced by a domestic company, and sanctioned by a domestic sanctioning body. In its press release, the FIM cited the direct result of the ongoing coronavirus pandemic as the reason Feld did not renew its world sanction. Says FIM President Jose Viergas, "First, I would like to say a huge thank you to Feld Entertainment, not only for such a long and great partnership, but also for their immense work in making Monster Energy AMA Supercross Championship the wonderful product it is today. I firmly believe under normal circumstances this is an agreement that would have been extended for a further period and that would have continued to go from strength to strength. That said, we fully understand the current situation and respect the decision that has been taken. With the ongoing support of our national federation in North America, the AMA, I am confident that the series will soon recover the levels it enjoyed before the pandemic, and that in the future we will have the opportunity to explore a new agreement. In the meantime, on behalf of the FIM, I would like to wish our American friends every success." So what are some of the reasons the coronavirus might have actually impacted the FIM and Feld agreement? First, obviously, revenue is sharply down for Supercross over the last year and a half. The series ended with 7 events without fans in 2020 and ran with fans in limited capacity in 2021. It's possible that simply cutting one whole sanctioning fee and the ongoing staff costs that might be incurred with that is allowing Feld to fit Supercross under a much tighter budget now that its primary revenue source has been gone for essentially a year and a half. Also, there have long been rumors that Supercross could expand internationally. When the FIM World Championship agreement first came to the series in December of 2002, the series ran 2 events in Europe in December before the traditional Anaheim 1 opener of the AMA Championship. Then, in 2008, the series began competing with just 1 international event in Toronto, Canada, and that event has not been run since 2017. Since it still held the World Championship tag, there were always rumors that Supercross was headed back to Europe or some other place in the world outside of the United States. Says the FIM press release, "The cancellation and postponement of several events due to COVID-19 restrictions has seen Feld Entertainment refocus their live events in North America, whilst adopting a watching brief in terms of the demand in international markets returning to pre-pandemic levels." The FIM's involvement in this series has not been without its controversies, mostly focused on the adoption of the World Anti-Doping Code, which has ensnared several riders not only in long suspensions, but also in periods with very little communication. While it's not yet known how going to an AMA-only sanction might change the drug testing policy, rules, or enforcement, there are certainly some riders in the pits that will be glad to see the potential for a change. So how did the International Sanctioning Organization end up getting involved in AMA Supercross in the first place? Well, here's a quick history lesson from about 20 years ago, when the existing agreement between the AMA as sanctioning body and the then producers of Supercross expired. Instead of renewing with the existing promoters, the AMA went shopping for a new one, and then announced that a new AMA Supercross Championship with new promoters, Jam Sports, would take the place of the old one. The existing Supercross promoters were not going to let Supercross go that quickly. They signed an agreement to get FIM World Championship sanctioning for Supercross, and the AMA, as a signatory to the FIM, has to respect the calendar dates that the FIM would put forth in a World Championship if it's running within the United States. Essentially, the AMA had nowhere to turn except back to its old promoter, and then AMA and FIM sanctioning would be run together in the same series. That's how we ended up with AMA Supercross and FIM World Championship from December of 2002 until the end of this year's championship, which concluded in May of 2021. When Supercross begins in 2022, the designation will simply be Monster Energy AMA Supercross.